I think we're live. All right, so good afternoon, everybody. You're welcome here. It's 2 p.m., right? Hi, Ruth Baba. It's 2 p.m. on TIP when Tuesday classes. Yes, so every Tuesday we're here sharing with you on different aspects of parenting. Today, we are talking about how childhood experiences affect us as parents. I had said that you should bring an extra chair where you're coming. You're welcome here. Thank you for being here and thank you for joining us. My name is Wendy Ologe. I'm a parent coach and I'm the founder of the Intentional Parent Academy. And I'm also the author of 3 best-selling parenting books, Connect to Correct, The Discipline That Works, and From Yelling to Calm. My latest book, which is also coming in hard copy, will be available by next week for pre-order. It's called Walking Your Child Through Puberty. That's the latest work we have in progress. Amazing job that was done there, I can assure you. Welcome here. Please, if you're streaming, if you're watching me from anywhere, please tell me where you're watching me from. I'm streaming live from Nigerian capital city, Abuja. So wherever it is that you're streaming from, please let me know where you're streaming from. If this is your first time, I want you to put a hashtag, first time watching your live video. Thank you so much. We're going to go straight to the conversation of the day. We're going to go straight to the conversation of the day. But before we do that, I would like to say welcome to everybody who is watching me for the first time. I haven't seen any first time watching. I can see you, Mawume. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I appreciate every single one of you. So we're talking about how childhood experiences affect us as parents. Hi, Mom. My mom is right in the Facebook community watching me. All right. So, hi, everybody. Just tell me where you're watching me from. And we've been talking about how childhood experiences affect us as parents. What exactly is childhood experiences? Today, we're going to plug into some a bit sensitive, right? Topics that people don't want to get in. I like to shake tables, so it's okay. I get on the sensitive parts and it's usually fine, yes. So, faithfulness or Noja, thank you for being here. She said, first timer. Please, if you're watching me for the first time, just hashtag first time watching. This is TIP Tuesday live class. It's one of the most popular activity that we have right on the TIP Academy. And if you can hear me loud and clear, please do let me know that you can hear me loud and clear so that we will know that you're with us. WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube, let's know if you can hear me loud and clear. Hi, Janet, first time watching. Awesome. Thank you so much, Janet, for coming live. All right. So please, if you can hear me, let me see an indication that you can hear me loud and clear. Awesome. I see one loud and clear watching. I also have people watching live on Telegram. Thank you so much for being there. All right. So I can see loud and clear. Oh, awesome. So we're good. We're good to go. Hi, Binish. Binish is watching me all the way from Pakistan. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Mom. My mom is streaming from Owerri. Thank you, Temi Tope, streaming live from South Africa. Woo! Today we are cutting across the whole globe. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for being here from Yola, Miriam. Thank you. Thank you, Fumilala from Abuja. You're watching from the same city where I'm streaming from. All right, so we're going to get straight into the conversation of the day so that we do not also bore you, right? from all the greetings. Just know that if you're in our Facebook community, you have entered one of the best. I didn't mince words, right? One of the best parenting groups in the world on Facebook. Yes, I didn't just say that. Facebook also reputed us 2 times for being one of the best parenting group right in the world. On 1st of October, we were named again as the most relevant parenting group in the group. So if you're in our Facebook group, welcome, and you are in the most exciting place. All right. Thank you, Mary from Jos. And thank you, Uche Abu from PH. Thank you so much, everybody. So today we are looking at how childhood experiences affect us as parents. Today's class is going to be hot, hot, hot. Invite your friends. Tag anybody who needs to see this video. Share this video if you're watching from my timeline. It is going to really be a rewarding session. Now, I want to ask a question. Are you victimizing your children? Tough question, right? A question many people do not want to hear. Are you victimizing your children? You know, when people get into the group, our Facebook community is quite large, in case you're watching me from Facebook. We have a massive Facebook community. And when people get into the group, the first thing, they want to fight is, oh no, that's how we were raised. It is consciousness that actually brings you to the point where you realize that, okay, I'm learning to unlearn some things that were taught to me, and that helps you to actually stay in the place of consciousness. Now, whoever tells you that you're going to just become magical, right? You're going to just get into a space, learn immediately, and then you become a guru. That doesn't happen. Parenting is a process. And until you commit to that process, nothing really changes. So, the question I ask is, are you victimizing your child? Most parents are victims. Most parents are victims. So they end up victimizing their children. I once had a mentor of mine, Isaac Anoja, is also in the group, say these words, and he started morning on his program, on his show, and it resolved so much for me. Have you ever heard that an abused person will naturally abuse another person except they get healed on the journey? That's just the simple truth. So the mindset many parents have, especially in our client, on how they treat their children and raise them portrays the victim mindset. I'm going to explain that. I've heard many parents say, this is how we're raised, so my children must be raised the same way. Let me simplify it. One of the ways people mismanage their anger is by playing the victim card. So you can't manage your anger, you bring out the victim card, and then you slot it in. So most parents become trapped in the victimized orientation of life because they feel comfortable with their own anger in that space. Now, what most people do not know is that what they do is that they adopt this victim role without even knowing it because they are afraid of the anger emotion. So they deny it and they project it on others. So when people say, no, I'm just angry, many of the times they're actually afraid of defining what the anger emotion is about. And many of the times they project it onto others without even knowing. All right? Oh, yes. Unfortunately, thank you, Francine. Most parents don't even realize that they pass on their childhood traumas to their children a lot of the time. So, we were talking about healing from parenting hurts one time in a class, and I was hit with so much queries and disturbing experiences on my private chat. Many people are raising children without healing from their past. All right, so it's become a thing. So many parents are angry with themselves. They are angry with their spouses, their economic situations. So they resolve this by playing the victim card. So whenever emotions arise, they victimize their children by playing that victim card, not because they want to, but because they don't know any other way to. You caused it. You made me angry. Now, this is a very common thing, amongst, in our client, where you hear parents say, you are the one that made me angry. You are the one that caused it. Why have you ever thought? Why is it that you haven't gotten to the point where you take responsibility of any sort? I also get this a lot, and it comes from a place of hurt. Our childhood experiences show up later in our adult life and haunt us. I said something earlier, when I shared a quote, and I said that your childhood experiences, whatever it is that you experience in the past, will haunt you until you deliberately, intentionally heal from it. How were you treated as a child? How you were treated as a child will definitely have a direct effect on how you parent your child. And until you understand this as a parent, you need to work on you before raising another human being. It keeps getting tough. Your emotional stability, your emotional awareness are paramount to the success that you have as a parent. You need to start working on understanding who you are. That is the most important thing that you must take. Right? So a lot of the times I've seen parents hurting and hurting and hurting. Now we're talking about how adverse childhood experiences could be affecting your own journey as a parent. Why do you get angry so much? Parents get angry so much with children for different reasons. Different reasons. Worries of health, finances. But in the middle of all this is a child who is innocently looking for a school shoe, a pen, or something. Think about it. So in the middle of all these worries, in the middle of all this anger built up, right? So you begin to heap a lot of these things to the children, but it's just an innocent child. An innocent child maybe throwing a tantrum, an innocent child looking for what it is that they want to do, an innocent child just being a child. So it's something that you begin to now project, because the children are small. Thank you, Francine, for that comment. Father, I'm just going to say that. So the children can't challenge you. So all you do is that you unleash everything on them. It doesn't make it right. I usually ask parents one thing. Do an honest review. When you come into the academy, the first thing that you do in one of our courses is that I tell you to do an honest review. See, forget all this, oh, we turned out well. Oh, we are okay. Oh, our parents did, the most perfect job. Please, I am not saying your parent didn't do a perfect job. I am just saying that there are things that might have been done that hurt so much that you haven't been able to deal with. And until you tell yourself some gospel truths, you will continue to build this circle. But I usually ask questions, when you do this honest review, what do you usually see? When you do these honest reviews, what do you usually see? So a state of anger or calm. In anger, we feel entitled to our feeling. How can this child be so irresponsible? But come to think of it, no matter how a child aggravates you, we find a child behavior, a child doesn't cause an angry response from you. This is what happens. Let me paint a picture and a scenario for you. A picture we usually paint when you get into the academy. A child lies to you. You draw a conclusion. Oh, this child is going to become a thief if I leave him lying. And if I don't take time, I failed as a parent. This stuff brings a rain of emotions. And in this case, you will feel fear, you feel dismay, you feel guilt. And at the same time, the best defense is just a good offense. So all you do is that you lash out in anger on this child. This whole process doesn't take more than 2 seconds. Don't kid yourself. If you're not in the conscious state of mind, these things go through in less than a second. So you conclude and say, my child pushes my button. My child pushes my button, and it's not because of how I'm reacting. No, you do not take responsibility for who you have become, unfortunately. I say always that children are the same. The difference is how we react. The truth is that most of the issues make us feel, like lashing out in stems in our own, come from our own early years. We run a course in the TIP Academy called Healing from Parenting Hurt, and part of what we do is to do the early child work. What happened in your early years? Studies have actually shown that everything we do comes from our subconscious. When is the subconscious built? That is the question. 0 to 10 maximum. So it means that everything you do is stemming from your early years. Reason, because you lose the ability to think clearly in those moments, so you act like a child. Whenever you find yourself reacting in those moments, it means it's simple. You are acting like a child. That is what has happened during your time. Usually, you can actually, see yourself. You actually see yourself thinking that you're in control, but you've totally lost control. It takes us to the topic of the day. Experiences during childhood shapes our perception and understanding of future moments in adults. So over time, these negative experiences disrupt neurodevelopment. They lead to social, emotional, and cognitive impairment. And ultimately, they result in adopting health risk behaviors. That's what adverse childhood experiences are. Adverse childhood experiences, ACE, they come in many forms, from physical to mental abuse to neglect to household dysfunctions. There are 10 different types of childhood trauma measured in ACE study. 5 of them are physical. They are personal physical abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse, physical neglect, and emotional neglect. 5 are related to other family members, but a lot of them are related to the individual. So a parent whose father was an alcoholic, a parent whose mother was a victim of domestic violence, there is an effect. It's just not going to disappear. Oh yes. All right. So divorce is a big deal. It affects your ACE counts. Now, CDC study uncovered a stunning link between childhood trauma and chronic diseases people develop as adults. I'm going to link this up to the kind of upbringing that we also have in our kind. Only that a lot of people who are watching me from Nigeria. So they've linked this childhood trauma and chronic diseases people develop as adults, as well as social and emotional problems. So this includes heart disease, lung cancer, diabetes, and many autoimmune diseases like depression, violence, being a victim of violence as well. It is also a trigger that there's something wrong somewhere. And then suicide. And before you come on this, broadcast and tell me, that suicide, is not in this part of the world. Oh, there's no suicide. Oh, people don't commit suicide and all that. Oh, Africans don't really commit suicide. I've heard that over and again. Unfortunately, this is a deceit card that we are playing. I was listening to a video that was shared, a mom in one of the African countries, and then, she shared this. Her son, 20 years old, committed suicide. The same thing we say, the same thing we want to believe, that, oh, people down here don't experience emotional problems. You share some things on our Facebook community. Some people from Nigeria will tell you, oh, no, this is not for Nigerian children. And I'm wondering, come on. So there's an effect. Everything you're doing have an after effect. So ACE works through experience, not just exposure. So exposure alone doesn't necessarily mean the child is affected. So if an ACE is prevented from causing toxic stress, the harm will not occur. So it means that a child constantly needs a nurturing environment that can build children resilient to protect them from ACE. The good news is early intervention and prevention, the impact of ACE can be mitigated. This is why it's even essential for you to even know what exactly is happening to me. The truth is that most of us enter parenting relationship wounded. Wounded, that's the word. And in some way from our childhood, this wound is not something. I shared something earlier. I said time does not necessarily heal any wound. Numbing a feeling doesn't mean that it heals it. They're not the same thing. I want you to put that down. Time doesn't necessarily heal any wound. Numbing a feeling does not necessarily mean that you have healed from that experience. So you can develop coping mechanisms. They are not the same. Something can happen to you, which is what has happened to a lot of us. We developed coping mechanisms. We got to a point where that's why we say things like, "Yeah, but we turned out okay." We developed coping mechanisms. And some of these coping mechanisms haven't really done us so much good, really. So we need to begin to find out what exactly is wrong. That's the first point of call. So the fear and the rage of childhood, they are powerful. They are powerful and they can overwhelm you even as a parent. It's very challenging to overcome this. How were you parented? You must understand that ACEs can be dangerous to the children as well. ACEs can be dangerous to the children. What happens when you react in anger? Scream, hit. So imagine your spouse hitting you. You're losing your temper. Now imagine them 3 times bigger than you, hovering over you. Then also imagine that you depend on that person, right? You depend on this same person for food, for shelter, for safety, for protection, for love, for confidence, times 1,000 times. That's exactly a sample of what happens when you get angry and unleash it on your children. That's what happens. Imagine that you have a spouse who actually comes on you in that manner. All right? Yes, time can actually create a bigger monster than the initial trauma. Absolutely true. So time won't even heal, time can create a bigger trauma. So the more we sweep these things in the carpet, the more harm this will do to us. So I've just painted a scenario, and I'm just hoping that that scenario I painted, struck a chord in you. Children who suffer violence exhibit lasting negative effects that reach every corner of adult life. Yes, sadly, most African parents won't admit it. Francine, you're so right. Most African parents would admit that a lot of the things that happen in our parenting journey is abuse. And many times when we say it, there's a resistance. I also understand the resistance. I understand that the resistance is because of the way we were raised. But if you commit to learning differently, you will actually begin to see these things and correct them. So the question you want to ask is, don't you get angry at your children? Of course I do. But the challenge is, how do we control and react to the expression of that anger in order to minimize this negative impact? Anger is scary enough for your child. It's scary enough. I was saying that a child who suffers violence exhibits negative effects that reach every corner of their adult life. It lowers their IQ to stormier relationship, likelihood of having a stormier relationship in their marriage, and also a higher likelihood of substance abuse. So if your child isn't afraid of your anger anymore, it's an indication that you just numbed them and they've developed defenses. So the unfortunate result is that a child is less likely to want to behave to please you, if you're not open to influencing them. All right? You're not open to influencing them. The unfortunate result is that the child will begin to get influenced by people who are not. You have said before that authority is not force and control. Authority is not fear, force, or control. Authority is respect, and trust. If you have a child who can't trust you, you've lost authority. I don't know what else it is that authority should mean to you. You've lost authority. You've lost authority. Right? So these things are key, and I want to see how many people are online who wants to take the ACE test. Let's even begin to understand what this ACE is about. Adverse childhood experiences negatively affect our adult lives. This is a study from CDC. The test I'm going to administer to you is also a CDC, test. And it says that 1 in 4 of every young adult, right, were severely maltreated. Now, this is a study in Europe. I saw the one in Nigeria, and it was a bit scary. Right? There's a lot of studies on adverse childhood experiences. And you need to understand what exactly does this mean. These experiences are connected. The experiences, the most common things that happen, experiences is sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical neglect, substance abuse in the home, mental illness in the home, incarceration of a family member, parental separation or divorce, then witnessing violence against their mother. If a child witnessed violence against their mother, a lot of people who grew up in my generation in Nigeria saw a lot of violence against their mother. Many of them were not just physical violence, they were emotional, they were, psychological. And until we look at those things, right, you will not, see some of those things that we're saying. They're going to sound like Greek to you. They're going to sound like Greek to you. All right, if you're ready, let us take the ACE test, and then we know we take it up from there as we move forward. If you're ready, please say ACE test in the comment section. Let's take the ACE test. If you're ready, let me see you. Let me see you in the comment section. Let me see you in the comment section. I hope that you are getting value from this class. If you are, let me see in the comment section. Let me see in the comment section where you say, I am getting value. Tag your friends to watch us live. Invite them, right? Yes. Adverse childhood experience. Yes, ACE test. You're ready. I want to say, yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. All right. I hope that the value you came for is being experienced in this place. Awesome. All right, so let's go there. Number 1, please get your pen and your paper to be able to write down some of these things that we're going to share with you. Number 1, these questions are all prior to your 18th birthday. Please take note. These questions were all prior to your 18th birthday. And please, we didn't put up this test. This is actually a test by CDC. It's a global test, right? You can find it anywhere. It's not us. We didn't, TIP Academy didn't put it up. Okay? So I'm giving you the test so that you will understand. Is my ACE too high? Is my ACE too high so that at least you even know, do I need help? Right? I know that a lot of us have one form of ACE that we suffered growing up or the other, but we need to even understand, right, what exactly am I dealing with? Did the parents or other adults in the household often or very often swear at you, insult you, put you down, humiliate you, or act in any way that made you afraid, that might physically hurt you? So in the comment section, you can just put 1. If it's enter 1 if it's a yes, enter 0 if it's a no. That will help us know that you're here with us. All right? That will help us know that you're here with us. That's 1. 2, did a parent or other adults in the household often or even very often push, grab, slap, throw something at you, or even hit you that they made marks or you were injured. Any of this will be a yes. Push you, grab you, slap you, throw something at you. That is, you put another one so that you'll be able to know that you have calculated that. So another one, all right? So at the end of the day, you will know what your score is. So let's go. Then number two. Somebody's asking if there's a replay. Yes, there will be a replay on our YouTube channel. Yes. Then number two, done number two. Number three, did an adult or a person at least 5 years older than you ever touch you, ever fondle you, or have you touch their body in any sexual way, or even attempt to have an oral, vaginal sex, whatever, whether you were touched, they tried, or it was a real thing. If that is a yes, you just put in 1, and if that is a no, you just put in a 0. So that means you'll be able to go back to your scores and see your numbers. All right? Awesome. So we're going to the next number. Number 3, number 4, did you often or very often feel that no one loved you, or many of the times feel that no one loved you, or thought you were not important, or you were not special, or your family didn't look out for you, or you didn't feel close, enough, and all that emotional availability? Do you feel that your parents were not emotionally available? You can put a 1. We're on question number 4. You can put a 1. We're on question number 4. That will help you to understand. If it's a 0, you can put a 0. All right, let's go there. Number 5. Do you often, many times, very often feel that you didn't have enough to eat? You had to wear clothes that were untidy. You have no one to protect you. Any of this is an answer. Or your parents were you had a father who was, an alcoholic, right? And couldn't take care of himself or you in process. If you had any parent like this, put a 1 in the comment section. Put a 1 in the comment section so that you will see your score as we keep going. Number 6, were your parents ever separated at any point in time? Whether before you got to 18 years, they were separated, they came back, whatever. Were they ever separated? Did they ever get divorced? Whichever one, please put a 1 if that ever happened. Please put a 1 if that ever happened. Put a 1 in the comment section if that ever happened. All right. Okay, so let's keep moving. Number 7. Was your mother or stepmother or anybody that represented a mother ever abused? Now, we're talking about abused, we're not just talking about hitting, right? We're not just talking about hitting. We're talking about abuse, physical abuse, emotional torture, mental abuse, or anything at all, or even threatened. Did you ever see your mom being threatened? You can add a 1 or a 0 in the comment section for that if you ever saw that happen. Even a slap, a physical abuse or whatever. Yes. All right, great. All right, I can see comments. Then we're moving. Number 8. Did you live with anyone who was a problem? He had a challenge with alcohol or even drug. Did you live with anyone, whether your sibling, your parent, whoever, whether your sibling or your parent. Let's get that done. Did you? Let's have your scores right in the comment section. Let's have your scores right in this comment section. All right, number 9. Was your household member ever depressed? Was your household member? Yes, Francine, I was going to also say that. Please, if you also had your mother abuse your father, I forgot to say vice versa. Number 7, if you also had your mother abuse your father, it's also the same effect. All right? If you also had your mother abuse your father, so go back to number 7 and go and correct. If you also had your mother abuse your father, it's also the same effect. So please, you can go back and correct if that was, or whatever it is. All right. Thank you, Francine, for that. And I said number 8, did you ever live with anyone who was, had a problem with alcohol or drug or anything? You can add 1. Number 9, I said, was a household member ever depressed, mentally ill, or anybody attempted suicide, in your community, in your family, right? Inside the home. Not necessarily your mom, your dad, it could be your sibling, it could be someone that was living with you, right? Then number 10, did you ever have a household member go to cell, go to prison, right? Go to prison and all that. 10. We have 10. I need us to add it up and tell me what the result is. If you decide that you don't want your result right here, it's fine. You don't need to share, right? Can also know that this can also be a bit sensitive. You can send a chat to us if need be, if you find any of them. So do a total sum. Let us see what your total is. It's over 10. 7 over 10, we do 10 over 10, 9 over 10, 5 over 10. So let's see your total score. So that means if you've been typing, then good. That means you're here and you're following. So let's see your total score. Let's see your total score. While you're calculating your total score, let me just be running through 7 over 10. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm saying total score 7 over 10. Please, if your total score is 0 over 10, just write 0 over 10. Don't just write 0. 7 over 10. Oh wow. 7 over 10. Wow. Okay. All right. So we're saying 6 yeses, 6 no's, 4 yeses. All right. 8 over 10. All right. Please share your score while we keep running. Share your score. Awesome. Somebody said I have a result of 0. Someone said I had 10 over 10. Oh, wow. 2 over 10. Awesome. Share your scores. Let's see your scores, right in the comment section. 7 over 10. I see a lot of people on YouTube sharing as well. I see a lot of us too on our Facebook community sharing with us as well. 2 over 10, 6 over 10, 4 over 10. Awesome. Now, these are all, a determining factor. Now, the question is, how high? How high is too high? That's the question. How high is too high? A tiny bit of, something that can help you, right? This has been seen as one of the largest, most important public health, issue, really. All right, 9 over 10. Woo-hoo. Okay. Childhood trauma is very common, and it's also very extremely common in our climate. People usually experience more than one type of trauma, and it's not usually rarely, it's rarely just one part. So there's usually very high, significance. Now, a lot of the times, they came out with an explanation of the ACE scores, and it said that the cholesterol score for childhood toxic, stress that it was linked up. The higher your SC score, the higher your risk of health and social problems. Yes. So as your SC score increases, so does the risk of diseases, social and emotional problems also increases. With an SC score of 4 or more, it means that you need to deal with this. There is likelihood of different kind of things with an SC score that is more than 4. Usually, I advise people, if you have an SC score that is 3, please deal with it. That's me. When I first did ACE scores, ACE test, I had 3 over 10. And I decided that I needed to deal with a lot of the things that I experienced as a person to be able to deal with my parenting journey. So, globally, medically, scientifically, studies-wise, and all that, it's said that if your ACE score is 4 and more, then you need to do something, deal with it, heal, and all that, deal with it, go through therapy and all that. But I'm saying, with what I have seen on my journey as a parent coach, I'm saying that if you have an ACE score of 3 and above, then you need to actually sit down and review some of the things that happened to you. Now, I'm going to go further to explain. So, the more your ACE scores, the more you have this likelihood of some of the things that we've shared about ACE. I'm trying as much as possible to make this class not to be scary. There are a lot of studies about ACE that is also very scary. I'm really trying. I'm trying not to, but just take it from me. What I'm saying is therapy, walking through your heart will help you on this journey. So childhood experiences have a lot to do with chronic diseases, antidepressant prescriptions, because he said that the higher your ACE result, the score, the higher rate that is going to happen. Risk of perpetrating domestic violence. Yes, regardless of your score, Francine, yes, regardless of your score, you need to actually deal, even if you have to, think, look at it and ask yourself, what can happen? Can I get help to be able to even deal with this, to be able to be where I want to be as a parent? There's a risk of perpetrating domestic violence the higher your ACE score is. The higher your ACE score, there's a risk of hepatitis. The higher your ACE score, there's a risk of smoking. There's a risk of behaviors, drug abuse, and all that. So childhood experiences also underline suicide attempts as well. There's also ACE score and teen sexual behavior. There's also an underlying effect of ACE scores and teen sexual behaviors, right? So ACE scores have been done the parallel to research of the kid's brain, found that toxic stress and damages the structure and function of the child's developing brain. Now, there's also ACE in a child. Now, these are ACEs because of even us that have grown to this point and have become, adults. This is where we are. This is where we are. Yes, adults and all that, right? But there are signs that your own child might actually start to begin to go through this. And one of the things that we do in the academy is we started a course called Healing from Parenting Hurt, because we realized that we realized that there was a lot of hurt. Unfortunately, we've only been able to run that class once, right? We've only been able to run that class once, and it's a class that needs presence. And we didn't have the time to be able to get onto that class again to be able to run it. We're opening it up again for the month of November. I think I will look at my date, and I think it opens on the weekend. It opens on the weekend on the 14th. It needs us to run it every weekend. It's not a class that you can just take. All our courses are hosted right on the academy, but this particular course is not hosted in the academy. It's hosted with live sessions. Yes, you can do replays, but we usually encourage that you do, come in. And we only take 20 people per time because it is quite strenuous. It's a lot of work. We do the childhood work. We get into, where you're coming from. We do a lot of exercises as regards this. So that course is open. It's open for you to enroll. Registration started today. We're going to still share details before this class ends. But we're doing a discount on that class because I want as many people as possible to get into that class. That class, the first time it was launched, was for 20,000 per participant. But we're currently doing a discount and we're giving our 50% off. That's our gifts to the community at 10,000 naira per participant for those 4 weeks. It's a 4-session class, live classes. Don't bother if you do not have time to attend. But if you feel, but they are weekend classes and you can catch replay, all right? And don't bother if you cannot do the work that is required. But I tell you for free, when it comes to childhood trauma, and unfortunately, our own children now begin to get some of these things that happen to us. So when a child faces trauma or is affected by one of these ACEs, they are not always open or they even know, how to express how they feel about this experience. So that's totally normal. So it's normal. But a lot of the times, if you know what to do, you are able to connect. I was watching a video. I was watching a video recently, and I saw a boy that committed suicide, an African boy. Whenever we share these things, we say things like, "We don't commit suicide in Africa. This thing do not happen in Africa." It makes me laugh because what we've seen, I have seen children who have committed suicide in Nigeria. I've worked with a family that their 9-year-old committed suicide. So when we wake up to say things like, "Oh no, these things don't happen," weekends, weekends, Sundays, these classes are only on Sundays. We do Sunday classes and we'll be able to settle in time with the participants. We don't just fix a time. We'll be able to settle in time with the participant that's convenient, almost convenient for everybody, but it's usually a live class. We can't just tell you, go and just do it on your own. No. It is a therapy work. It's an inner child work. We need to do the inner child work with you. That's why it's like that. And then, I saw in that video, this boy, committed suicide at 20, yet this boy was sodomized when he was in his teens. His mom didn't even know. These are adverse childhood experiences. Now, if you experience adverse childhood experience yourself as an individual, right? Yourself as an individual, that is what happens. And let me also say that this discount is only for people who are able, only for people who are able to make, please, how long would this love session last? These are only for parents who are able to make payment between now and the weekend. That's the discount is only till weekend. After the weekend, the 50% off is gone, right? The sessions usually will last for 50 to 60 minutes, right? The session usually lasts for, we do it exclusively. It's not done on Facebook. We do on Zoom, and we're able to work with you on it. All right, so let me share how you can know that your child is also going through ACEs. How does ACEs, right? How does ACEs affect the brain? ACEs causes a rewiring of the brain. So if you have a child, your child might also be going through ACE because of the kind of parenting that you're doing. Your child might currently be going through ACE, and if it is left unsolved, so even if you don't go through these sections for yourself, go through it for your child, so that it will help you be able to help your child as well. So ACE causes rewiring of the brain. It causes rewiring of the brain. It makes the children more prone to risky behavior, both now and in the future. And it's triggered by toxic stress, prolonged activation of the body stress response systems, and the areas of the brain like the amygdala. So the center, that's the center for emotions. So that's why you react first. While the prefrontal cortex, that's the thinking and the planning area, takes a backseat. So as a result, your child's responses to even trivial scenarios become reactionary. It's now an automatic retort that does not consider formulating a thought out reply. So a children process, their trauma. That's as children process their trauma, there's a need to remove oneself from the threatening environment. It's important. So placing action before planning becomes a mental switch that they may struggle to actually begin to turn off. So even a reminder of what that experience can go towards that emotion of area of the brain while thinking those kind of checkouts. So many of the times we're looking at it from the surface. Now I want to bring effect of ACs. I want to bring the effect of ACs on you and your health. Remember, our life expectancy in Nigeria is low. I think currently it's like 55. Does that ring a bell for you? Yes, healthcare, this one, that one. But our life expectancy is low. Does ACE and connection to the things that happen to us ring a bell? We say things like, yes, but we turned out okay. Yes, Francine, a lot of the times the Nigerian mentality, was it lacks emotional support. Our system of parenting lacks emotional support. So the ACE, now studies is showing that ACEs affect, our health in the today. Doesn't that show you that something is wrong somewhere? It means that our health, how we were raised, there's a fundamental problem. So our ACE scores that a lot of Nigerians have very high ACE scores. Very high. And I tell you, at 4, it's already considered, risky. And then we're having 7, we're having 8, we're having 9. And the course details, like I said, this course starts November the 14th, the 15th. That's on Sunday. That we're going to have 4 Sundays, so it stops at 6th of December. So if you want access to this course, we already created a 50% discount between now and Saturday, and that's all. After Saturday, we're only taking in 20 people. Please, we can't deal with more than 20 people. It's not like other courses where you have access on your own. No, we cannot. No, we cannot. You need to be able to, deal with this, give it our best and be able to walk you through. So all you need to do is to make payment and send a text. Tope will help us do a response to that and respond to you. I think Engineer is on my Facebook personal page. Tope, please help us respond to Engineer on our Facebook personal stage. Now let's go on. So these things, affect the brain of the child, and the child begins to act out. Yes, we lack emotional support the way we parent. Oh yes, and that is also affecting the children. So how do ACEs affect behavior? Parents would most likely see periods where the child is acting out, and then they engage in destructive behavior. So for some children, adverse experiences can manifest as violent outbursts, beyond the typical toddler tantrum. So when you have a child who is having those outbursts, a child who is struggling with behavior, check it. Is that child having an ACE? This behavior actually reflects their emotion and dictating their action. So the result of their brain heightened emotional state and suppressed thinking process. I have said before that the difference between punishment and discipline is that punishment impacts the emotional brain. That's the explanation that I have just given. While discipline impacts the thinking brain. Now, the studies say that the behavior that reflect these emotions dictate their actions and then result in this brain heightened emotional state. When you punish, it heightens the emotional state of your child. That is where the amygdala is, and then suppresses the cortical part of the brain, where the brain is supposed to think, to process. So the child begins to misbehave even more and more. And another indicator is the inability to focus and to use, a lot of things. And this gives birth to now learning disability. Learning disability. Remember the learning disability that we did last week. If we remember learning disability, we talked about how learning disabilities affected, how your children, read and the things that your children do right in school. So learning disability can also be impacted by AC. So children who have been exposed to adversity have a lot of trouble concentrating because they're always ready for danger. And that is what an epidemiologist said from CDC. They can't concentrate one thing at a time because they have to be aware of everything just in case. The impact of AC can be dealt with. What ultimately puts children at risk of jeopardizing their well-being is lack of emotional support at home. Lack of emotional support at home. That you love your child. That you love your child is not enough. You must learn to support your child emotionally. So people say, oh yes, I'm beating my child because I love my child. What's that? It means that simply you have not been able to learn, right? Abimbola, you can see the details, right, Tope sharing. Thank you, Tope. You have not been able to learn that these things can actually affect your child. So we say things like, oh no, it's because I love my child. You can love a child and actually become emotionally destructive to that child. Yes. So, I keep saying that intentions are not enough. Intentions, that you have good intentions, they are not enough. They are not enough. So you need to learn, how do I build stable, nurturing environment around the child? Because this is critical to what the child will experience. It's important that you buffer this child's exposure to this trauma. Part of what we're going to be, dealing with in that healing from parenting hurt is to even go back to you and understand exactly what has happened to you over the years. This course will help you to truly acknowledge the pain you've suffered, and in doing so, you begin to heal. Like I said, time does not heal really. Sometimes time might actually, cause more harm, right? Thank you, Francine, for sharing that. You also think that this isn't ingrained in our parenting habits. Unfortunately, it is not. Unfortunately, it is not. And we also show you how to reconnect with yourself, including reconnecting with your emotions. That's part of what this class is also going to show you. You also gain an understanding as to how and why you act out in the negative and unhealthy way, right? Unhealthy way. You also get to understand, take compassion from others. How do I begin to take compassion? You also learn how to start your intentional parenting journey without passing your heart to your children. We'll teach you how to replace self-criticism with self-kindness. And then you also figure out how to forgive and move on. Remember, abused people don't stop loving their abusers. So when people say, oh no, our parents, we done that for our parents, I love them. Oh, they did. Abused people don't, I want somebody to write that. Abused people don't stop loving their abusers. They stop loving themselves. And you need the right dose of loving emotions to raise a wholesome child. So the fact that you love everybody around you, or you love everything that your parents do, doesn't really mean that these things were not true. A lot of us have also numbed the feeling of the things that happened to us. I've seen that over the years. All right? And like I said, your AC score might be 2, but I tell you, dealing with those 2 scores, I had an AC score, that was pretty low, but I still told myself that there was something wrong that I needed to deal with. And same process that I want to walk you through is the same process I walked through. And until you do that, you will struggle. I say again, abused people don't stop loving themselves. Don't stop loving their abusers. They just stop loving themselves. And without knowing, you become self-critical. You begin to look at yourself. Yes, it's a dangerous circle. So when people come to me or when we share some things on the group and people say things like, it doesn't matter, our parents did this, oh, they were perfect, oh, our parents were perfect, oh, our parents, did all that and all that. I don't have a problem with that. But I tell you, you need to be careful because abused people don't stop loving their abusers. Abused people stop to love themselves without even knowing that they've stopped to love themselves. So today, I need you to commit to taking responsibility for your own journey. Taking responsibility for your own journey. This course helps you to walk away from these thoughts, right? This course, don't take it. What we want to do is not for you. We don't want you to hold on to things that will destroy you. We want you to be able to move from where you are to where you should go to. Begin to walk your way through. So if you want to be part of that course, simply write course in the comment section. Like I said, these are live sessions that will run every Sunday through to 4 Sundays in the month of November. We're starting on the 14th, right? So we need to think. Thank you, Francine, for putting that in capital letters. You need to understand that you're doing this for you. You're doing this for the next generation. There's something called the transitional circle breaker. Do you want to break? What is generational curse? Generational curse is simple. The things that have happened that keeps reoccurring. The things that have happened that keeps reoccurring. All right? Please, if you're on YouTube, just simply take a look at our screen and you see details of this offer, and you can take it down to be able to make payment. If you're on Facebook, once you put course in the comment section, Tobe will respond to you and you will be able to see this. But before we begin to round up, it's important for every single one of us to know that this is not, oh, my parents did. When I got to a point where I saw, my ACE scores, I realized where it was coming from. And by the time I went through this process, I realized that I was still hurting somewhere without even realizing that I was. In this session, a lot of parents get to a point where they actually cry. Not because we want them to cry, but because they begin to see things that naturally they wouldn't have thought of. So many times, and I understand why we do some of these arguments. Why we say, oh no, it's not like that. It's because of this simple statement. When people abuse you, you don't stop loving them. Have you ever thought why a woman will stay in a home where she's abused? And she doesn't stop loving her husband. She's not faking it. Trust me, she's not faking it. So people will say, oh, they're faking love. Her husband will beat her. She will still come on Facebook and come and talk about the husband. No, she's not faking it. It's just simple. That's how the neurons are wired. And ACEs affect your brain. And because ACEs affect your brain, right? Okay. All right, Francine. Tope, please respond to Francine via private chat, or I'm going to send you a DM after we're done. So a lot of the times, subconsciously, you find yourself doing some of those things. And you don't even know where they are coming from. And we say things like, no, you don't need to eat the child. No, you don't need to. It's coming from somewhere. It's actually coming from somewhere. So all those anger, all those build, let nobody deceive you that this is the right way to raise a child. It's not. Trust me, I can tell you for free. It's not. It's not. We have had a lot of things happen even in our climb because of the way we are raising people. SCs are critical to a lot of the things that happened, that happened to us. The way it shuts down the thinking part of our brain. The way, and until we create this awareness, we're not going to make progress. We're not going to make progress. I've screamed mental health for years now. And people were telling me, oh no, mental health is not our thing. How can you? Today, it's in our hands. We're having people, young people, commit suicide every day in Nigeria. And when we started screaming, people said, no, it's not true. We've been talking about sodomizing children, and we've been saying sodomizing boys, and we're saying that these things are real in our communities. People are telling me, no, it doesn't happen in Nigeria. Oh, these things are just outside Nigeria. People don't do these things. They are real life. There's a case going on where boys were chained and being sodomized by the people you call the high and the mighty in the society. And yet you tell me that we turned out okay. How okay can we be? How okay are we? No, we're not okay. We're definitely not okay. There's something wrong somewhere. Can't you see? Can't you see? It's obvious that there's something we need to undo. The way we were raised, there were a lot of things that we need to undo. And until we even accept that it's even a problem, that's when we can move forward. That's when we can move forward. If we do not accept that these things are a problem, then we're going to keep struggling. We're going to keep struggling. Stop telling yourself that's how I was raised. How you were raised might not necessarily be the best way. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn. How you were raised cannot. We can't keep saying, but we turned out okay. How? Where? We need to undo this in Africa if we need to actually begin to do a lot of things. Look at the ACE scores. A lot of the times when you see I share ACE scores, the first time we had this class, we had almost everybody in the class have a minimum of 4, 5. And it's a risk on its own. And we don't even begin to realize it. We're still in the place where we're still, doing all sorts of, doing arguing. And because we practice a culture of silence, we practice a culture of silence. We mask everything. No, don't talk about it. How can you say what your parents did to you? If you do not begin to look back into your process, you will transfer, even when you do not want to. I say that parenting characteristics are reflective. So it means that even the things that you do not want to do, you see yourself doing that. I once had a session with a family. We had a family session with the whole family. And I realized during the session that they also had marriage challenges. We had to bring in a marriage coach. And in the process, we realized that this man was hitting the wife. When we dug deep, he was as a result of this. He never liked it. He never liked it, but he did it. You won't like it, but you will do it. We keep silent, we shame people, and you think we are okay. I don't even get how okay we think we are. When a lot of things are constantly going wrong, we shut people up. We say things like, oh, it's because the parents did it, so it's okay. Come on. There's just so much around us. And if we do not stand up to commit to it, it becomes a real challenge. And I tell you, there's nothing that you can do here. I will come here to say, oh, you need to do this, and everything becomes perfect. I will lie to you. It's about process. If you're not willing to do the work, then there's going to be a struggle. We're going to be where we are. There's work to be done. Can we stop the argument first and commit to responsibility? Tell yourself, I want to take responsibility for my life. I told myself that so many years ago. I want to take responsibility for where I am going to, for what happens to my children. I want to take responsibility. Commit to taking responsibility. Stop giving excuses. That's how they raised us and nothing happened to us. It's a silly excuse. Stop giving them. They're not going to do us any good. We are raising people, human beings. We're not raising plastics. So all those your trial and error, trying to just do things from everywhere, it's not going to work. And hoping that once I just read this something here, please commit to it. Commit to it. There's no one class in these sessions that will help you. This is awareness that we're creating. I'm glad that you're watching me and that we're creating the awareness. But it is more important for you to even take responsibility for what has happened in your life. Whatever your parents have done, it's their business and they've lived their life. They've lived their lives. We can't continue this passing of blame. We can't continue to say trash in the name of raising children. No, we can't. We can't. There's a lot more to be done. Our parents did what was available to them as at the time when they raised children. You have resources right in your hands. You have no excuse. You have no excuse. I keep saying it. There's no excuse. And knowledge is a deal breaker. I was watching that video where that 20-year-old committed suicide. The mother said something very striking. She said, this boy, when I started studying about mental health, I realized that this boy showed all the signs of depression. But I didn't know. Because why? She didn't learn. She was giving the same excuses. Probably. I don't need to. There's nothing wrong with my children. There's nothing wrong with me. All these things they are saying, it's not my business. It's not your business until you begin to see, the aftermath. I've seen a lot to last me a lifetime. On this journey, I have seen a lot to last me a lifetime. I'm taking my time to say these things so that you're not finishing this podcast and say, value, this one. And then you just walk away and continue your life normally. That's what we're used to in this part of the world. Take responsibility. And until you do that, nothing will ever change. Nothing will ever change. I'm sorry, Ucha. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. But sometimes, you get to a point, you begin to realize that if you just had knowledge, I watched that video, I was pained. Because if that woman had a simple knowledge, she would have just realized that my child had a problem. And please, commit to help. Stop doing things on your own. If you need help, please shout for help. Our culture of shaming and blaming people makes us not to get help. I don't know where we got that from. If something is wrong on your journey, look out for somebody who can help you. Stop saying you know what you're doing. No, I know that everything. That's how that woman watched that boy. Instead of seeking help, watch that boy hang himself right in their balcony. Painful. A 20-year-old boy, you saw all the signs. You knew something was wrong. Simple knowledge. I keep saying it. If you don't pay today for knowledge, you will pay tomorrow for the ignorance. If you say knowledge is expensive, try ignorance. Ignorance is a big deal. Just an act of ignorance. This woman, I saw that video. I wasn't even able to post it. I was so heartbroken. Because a simple knowledge could have just helped her. All she needed to know was the signs and to seek help. And you see this thing we do in Nigeria where we think professional help don't matter. We're killing ourselves. We're killing ourselves. There are things that you might not be able to solve for yourself. Will not be able to. That's why there are specialized issues. There are specialized people that can help you. Allow help you. In fact, by the time you begin to seek help, it shows that you're growing. Your ability to actually come out and say, yes, I need help. It shows your growth process. If you're still at the level, you're watching me, you're still at the level where you're still arguing. Oh no, we turned out okay. What they did to us. Oh, you're still coming. We're waiting for you. I just pray that it's not too late. We're waiting for you. Because a set of children that we're even raising in this generation, it's not even something, that we want to that we want to begin to push on. I like to begin to round up. Start your journey today. Don't leave anything to chance. If it means getting a copy of a book, please get it and start. My books are available everywhere. Connect to Correct shifts your mind. It will shift your mind from what you used to know. I think that's the first, for me, that's the first point of call. To shift your mind from what you used to know to where you should be going to. That's what that book does for you. Even for me, while I wrote it, he also did the same thing for me. So when it shifts your mind, then you can now, come into the knowledge of, okay, that means this is what I. So if you're still at the point where you're still struggling with this new knowledge, it's a good place to start. Get a copy today. If you're anywhere around the country, anywhere, you can get a copy of Shobo, where, anywhere you are, Ota, wherever, Lagos, wherever. We have 12 pickup points in Lagos. We have pickup points everywhere in the country. It's the same account. It's a 3,000 naira worth of book. It can save you a lot. Can save you a lot. The discipline that works is 3,000 naira. Our guides to be able to put structure in your home. It's 1,500 each. There's nothing to, don't leave things to chance. Don't just assume things. Parenting on assumption is a killer. Parenting on assumption is a killer. I don't know why thank you, Carol. I wonder why parents actually pay heavily for material. Oh, yes. They pay for hair, it's because our value system in itself is skewed. It's skewed. Things that are supposed to be relevant to us are not relevant to us. And it's a problem. It's a problem. So if you have knowledge, there's even the confidence. I was watching the parents in the inner circle when we shared something about that same picture, that same video of the parent. You could see the understanding of the parents in the inner circle. That's the people that we work with directly every year. If you want to get into the inner circle, you can enroll. You can come. You can send me a chat, and you will be able to. If you live outside Nigeria, you're going to get the book online on Amazon. If not, you can get the e-copy. All right. So the parents of the inner circle are parents I've worked with for 1 year. I tell you for free, these parents, when I look at them, their knowledge, when I have conversations with them, it's not like having conversations on the group. It's different. Their knowledge bank is high. Their knowledge bank is, they understand a lot of things. It's not the same. And you think you have the same results. No, you will not. That's the truth. Take responsibility today. Stop the blame game. Take responsibility. Commit to learning. Commit to learning. Commit to healing. Healing from parenting hurt is critical. It is key. Please, if you want to be part of that course, all you need to do is to put course. If you're on YouTube watching me, I'm sure you must have seen a copy, the screen showing it's one account that we have, one GT account. That's what we use all around. And all you need to do is to make payment and get listed. Only 20 people will be in this class because this class is not running online. We do not have the ability to take more than 20 people because it's an intense class. And like I said, this is the only second time that we're launching it again. The first time we launched it, we had 20 people. This is the second time we're launching it again. And we're not going to be launching it again for this year. And this is also the last time we're going to be doing it at this price as well. No, we will not, because it takes us a lot of work to do that. 20% to work them is like a one-on-one coaching. So if you want to be part of this group coaching, this healing from parenting, or just put course or send me a chat directly. My number is very out there and very common. If you're watching on YouTube and you're catching a replay, you can just check the description and check details on how to pay for the course and also how to contact me. So if you want to reach out to me for anything whatsoever, please, if you're having challenges, reach out. Reach out. Don't keep things to yourself. Let us kill the culture of silence. Let us kill the culture of just doing things anyhow. Let us kill the culture of just saying we don't need to learn anything. Let's kill the culture of just saying, no, I turned out okay, I don't need to do anything. Let's kill that culture and commit to learning. Thank you, everybody. I can't see any questions, but if there are questions, I will take it up. Thank you so much, Frasen, for all your comments. I do appreciate. Thank you, Carol. Yeah, thank you. I wonder why some parents pay heavily for materials and irrelevant things but can't afford simple knowledge. I don't know why either. These same parents will go to what's it called? One of those, eateries and pay 10,000 naira for German pizza. And when you say, oh, this class will cost you 10,000, they say, 10,000 naira. All right. I think we've done that. So if you're catching a replay and you have anything on the course on the adverse childhood effect that you've had, someone even scored 0. Awesome. I thought I want to have a conversation with you. I want to have a conversation with you. All right. So if you scored anything from 3 upwards, please, I beg you, please reach out. Reach out, walk through your journey, heal from these hurts. If not, they will destroy you. Right? That you give time for your hurts doesn't necessarily mean that this hurt is actually healed. There's a lot. There's a lot, of the lot that happened to us as children, and we need to begin to, deal with that. Ocha says, how much is it to be a member of the inner circle for next year? You need to book a slot. I think we have just 20 slots remaining, Ocha. Reach out to me. The whole session for the whole year is 40,000 naira for the whole year, and you have a lot of benefits in there. And then, but if you want to book out a slot, registration starts first week in December. But if you want to book a slot, you need to pay 5,000 naira to secure your slot. Already, we have 180 parents on the waiting list. We already have about 100 parents already, taking a slot, and we're not taking more than 150. So we're hoping that we'll be able to cater for everybody, but it's not something that we can do. So if you're just joining, please, the test, you need to catch a replay to be able to catch the test. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I am so excited that for every time I come in here, there's a lot of buzz. It's not something that I take for granted. It's something that I usually love and I love and love. For people who have been asking me for the pre-order of the book, Walking Your Child Through Puberty, please just hold on. On Monday, we'll open pre-order so that you can make payment for your book. It's hard copy. It's going to be on Amazon. You're going to be able to pick it anywhere. And it's also going to be soft copy in case that is what you prefer. So, and it's for me, I finished writing that book, and some people, when some people went through the course and reached out to me, I blame myself for not actually writing that book till now. But well, thank God we are here, and we've been able to finish up the book, and the book is ready, going through the process. So from Monday, you will be able to start pre-ordering, and by I think second week in December, we will start dispatching. We'll launch and start dispatching. We'll do a launch party and start dispatching the book around the country. It is my intent to be able to make Africa a better place by using parenting education, because I believe that parenting education is one thing that can save us from the Holocaust that we already are in. So if we're able to raise better people, if we're able to begin to undo some things, in our own side, it helps us. It helps everyone, around us. It helps everyone even around the globe as well. So if you're watching me, just know that that is part of what we want to do. And we also pray and hope that you also commit to that with us. So if you want to be part of the inner circle, just reach out to me and pre-order. Pre-order is going to be 3,500. Book is going to be 4,500. For those who will pre-order, you're going to get a workbook, an e-workbook attached to it. All right? You're going to get an e-workbook attached to it. So you're going to have that e-workbook attached to it free, but if you're paying after, you're going to have to buy the e-workbook for 1,500 naira. So pre-order for the book is 3,500, and then it's 4,500 when we're done. It's a little bit, it walks you through, but it's a book that every parent should not miss to have a copy. Thank you, everybody, again and again. I don't feel like leaving. See you on Friday. We're going to have a Q&A on Friday right in our community where we're going to be answering questions in different aspects. And if you are following us on Instagram, we also have created sessions for our Instagram where we also be doing lots of the live sessions Thursdays. So if you want to follow us, you can also find us, the Intentional Parents with the S, and then follow us and also see our activities. Muchabo, yes, you can. Yes, you can. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you. If you want to be part of that course, just put course, reach out to me, or put course, we will reach out to you to give you the details to make payment. Thank you again, and do have an amazing week. If you want to get any of our guides, don't hesitate to reach out. Any of our books will help you on your journey. If you can't even start, with some of the stuff, big stuff, and all that, please make sure that you come in as well and start with the small guides and begin to walk your journey. And Francine, at 2 p.m. on Saturday, we're also here at 2 p.m. on Saturday, where we will be sharing Q&A sessions and have interactions. And we're looking to use the Facebook room for it and see how that spans out so that we'll also be able to hear people talk. Thank you, everybody, and do have an amazing day.